how do you know when you come across like the perfect scenario for, I guess, for any type of investment, but for this case, an apartment building, right? So the owner reached out and said he reached out to us because of the marketing we do, right? And he said he might be interested in selling. He's owned the place for like 20 to 30 years, so it's paid off. Boom, that's one bonus. He manages himself and does all the repairs. Boom, second bonus. He's probably sick of 20 to 30 years of doing that. So that's second bonus. Third bonus, he said like 30% of his tenants weren't paying. Bam, that's another bonus, right? And the last and biggest bonus, well, there were more bonuses. We're going to quit counting bonuses. But he said that the building is completely individually metered, either obviously other than the water, but everything's separate. So like separate separate water heaters, separate panels for electrical, and separate furnaces, right? That is like the perfect scenario, right? Because as a landlord, you're really only essentially in charge of a few lights that are on the exterior of the building, right? Everything else is tenant paid for, which is perfect, right? The less bills you got to deal with, the better, right? So he said that, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's great. And then he threw in a curveball. He's like, yeah, but I pay them all. I'm like, wait, what? So like, obviously that is like the worst thing ever, right? If they're all separately metered, that you should never do that. So he told me that, and it was like pretty funny. I started laughing. Well, I didn't start laughing because he can't laugh, but anyway, so that's a huge opportunity right there in itself, right? And then he went on and he said it needs a roof. He essentially just said he didn't want to like deal with it anymore. Oh, with the roof thing, he said something real funny. He's like, yeah, I go up there like every year and I coat it. And, you know, I didn't know the building, right? He gave me the address. I didn't get a chance to look it up or whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe it's a flat roof, you know? So he just goes up there and coats it to make sure it like lasts longer. Nope, it's a normal pitched roof with normal shingles on it. So I don't know what the hell he's coating. He's like Rain-Xing it or spraying Flex Seal all over it. Like, I have no idea. If you've ever came across coating a roof, please let me know, because I have never heard of this ever in my life. But anyway, so that was another thing, right? He's like, yeah, it needs a roof. I don't want to spend money on it. So that, again, he essentially just wants to get rid of it, right? And then the last thing, well, I don't remember if it was the last thing, but in our conversation, he said that the rents were like $400 or between $400 and $500, which they are 1 bedroom, 1 baths, but it's not in a terrible area, but either way, it should be at least like $700 for a 1 bed, 1 bath. So boom, another huge opportunity there, right? So to me, that is like the perfect deal, right? Someone that's owned it for a long time, doesn't want to do repairs to it, doesn't want to deal with it anymore, is just sick and tired, just wants to spend time with his family, and just wants to get rid of it, right? That's one big, well, there's a list of big upsides, right? And then the others were everything in the building is individually metered. A bunch of his tenants aren't paying rent, so he probably doesn't want to deal with any of that. It needs repairs, I already said that. And there's huge upside on rent, right? So that's like the perfect scenario, as long as the price he wants isn't like crazy, right? For you to buy this place as an investment and fix all those awful things and turn it into like a huge home run, right? Because obviously you buy these things off of what it's performing at, right? So if it's performing at probably not that well, right? Like $400 or $500 out of 30% or 70% fully occupied, but 70% of the people are paying, right? And you give it a value. Obviously, I don't even know how he's probably like making anything, because with that low rent, by the time you pay rent, insurance, water, he's paying all the utilities, taxes. I don't know. But anyway, huge upside. So that's kind of like what I look for when, a deal gets presented. I kind of look, obviously this one's crazy because it has like all of the big things that you want, but a lot of times you can just look for like one or two of the things, right? Maybe just rents are low, or, to me it's crazy that he pays all the utilities. I think most people don't ever do that. But sometimes you just look for one of those and you just buy one of those. You can buy a place and turn it around and make a great profit. So those are kind of the things that I look for, and I will let you know if we end up buying it or not. So have a great night.